Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. So let's start talking about a whole host of stocks that could be in focus. Dipan Mehta, director at Elixir Equities, is joining us now to give us his view on plenty of stocks. Dipan, hi, good morning. The first stock on my radar is Chola Finance. Very good set of numbers coming through. But, of course, the group has seen their stocks rise about 20-25% this year. Do you see more upsides in such names post good numbers?
Yes, Sona, good morning and thank you for having me on your show. I think Cholamandalam, first a disclosure that we and our clients are invested. I would rate it as among the best in class NBFCs, just maybe a notch below Bajaj Finance. And the way they managed the IL&FS crisis as well as the COVID pandemic, the way they managed their NPAs and still managed to generate credit growth is really, I think, quite noteworthy over there. They are very sharp lending practices, and by and large, I think the hallmark has been pretty much low NPAs, especially when you compare them to the peer group like Shriram Transport, now Shriram Finance and M&M Finance, which are predominantly the same business. And you see how Shriram and M&M Finance have fared versus how Chola has fared. You realize the quality of the management over here. Valuations, of course, are on the higher side because of absolutely great performance compared to their peers. And on the whole, I think that because the main consuming kind of industry, that is real estate, which is a new division for them, and commercial vehicles, we are seeing rising volumes. I think next 2-3 quarters will be exceptionally good for Cholamandalam, and we have a kind of a positive view on the stock. At corrections or even at these levels, investors could look at investing in them and making it part of their core holdings.
Okay. The other stock that I wanted to ask you about was Reliance Industries. So now the resolution for the demerger of the financial services arm has come through. Eventually, the expectation is that the listing could happen somewhere around September, October this year. Are you bullish on this name, or do you think that this space, the financial services space, already really cluttered and could take a while before Reliance establishes its dominance here?
No, Sona, I think Jio Financial will be in a league of its own. It'll have a superb tech platform, and it'll take on the likes of all the new fintech players. At the same time, it will have the financial muscle power and the resources of a traditional NBFC as well. So very positive on the listing. I'm sure it'll trade at premium valuations from day one. And the timing also is exceptionally good because all the banks and NBFCs are the favorites of the market. So you could have a good amount of fancy around the stock when it is listed. So we're very positive on that. In fact, I think the Reliance stock price is moving up in anticipation that investors may have a strategy of buying Reliance right now and getting shares of Jio Financial, and then even perhaps as a trading position, selling off Reliance after after the price goes X and the Jio Finance shares have been demerged. And that could also be a good strategy because that would be the cost of holding Jio Financial shares, which would be at significantly lower levels than to try and buy on listing. So very positive on the entire transaction. And I do hope that the same strategy is followed through for the other two businesses, that is retail and Reliance Jio. I think that would be extremely positive for minority shareholders.
Dipan, hi, good morning. And good to speak with you again. Dipan, guys, if you remember, day before yesterday was talking about Indigo, how he likes Indigo. Yeah. And he said oil prices could drop. Well, from that point...
Not only have oil prices fallen,
oil prices have dropped, and then there is, of course, this
key competitor has also dropped.
So it's just been completely... sometimes, what was that saying? Chappar phar ke deta hai. Or if you hold Indigo shareholders. Of course, an airline going down is not good news overall. Dipan, okay, Indigo is, of course, I mean, you can comment on it if you want, but I have 3 specific names. One is Manappuram. The stock sold off some 10-11% yesterday. There was an ED sort of surges, etc. going on, and I'm not sure if these kind of large cuts usually we've seen do get taken back. I mean, they come back. So one is Manappuram. The tire stocks all rallied. MRF reported super strong numbers, some 30% EBITDA beat. JK Tyre rallied. You had C8, which rallied very sharply. So I want your thoughts on these names. Go on.
Hey, Prashant, good morning and thank you for having me. And thank you for remembering my Indigo quote. So, it's a great fortune, absolute blue sky scenario for the aviation industry. And I just want to add over here that Indigo has been aggressively adding capacity for the last several years, even before Air India was privatized. And it's only now that Air India is looking at adding capacity. So I expect that their market share will grow even further from these high levels, and next 2-3 quarters could be the best ever for the company and help it manage its balance sheet. Tire stocks are doing well because overall transportation is doing pretty well. We saw the GST numbers, and we saw that entire economy is picking up. So that is having a positive effect on tire stocks, and raw material prices have been passed on, and now you are seeing a slight declining trend over there, which will aid margin management, and these stocks are available at reasonable valuations. So we are seeing a positive upcycle over there. Manappuram, I would avoid. We are seeing intense competition in the gold loan business. Their margins are definitely under threat. It's not that their NPAs are shooting up. It's just that there are far too many more players, especially banks and some of the new generation fintech companies also, which are giving the likes of Manappuram and Muthoot a run for their money. And of course, this news of this news about ED, if at all, if it's true, then it's definitely negative. So although valuations are very attractive at Manappuram, maybe trading at or below book value, we're not positive on the stock.
All right, Dipan, request you to stay with us for a bit. We just